The expensive steakhouse in Victoria Island, Lagos, was filled with soft music and the smell of grilled meat. Crystal glasses sparkled under the warm lights. At a corner table sat 3 people. Chidinma, a successful woman in her 30s, her husband Emeka, and across from them, Chidinma's younger sister, Adis. Adis had just slid a thick folder across the white tablecloth. Her hand was steady, her face was calm, but her heart was beating like a drum. "What is this?" Chidinma asked, picking up the folder with a confused smile. "Adis, you said you needed to talk to us about something important. Why are we at this expensive place? You know you cannot afford this. Did you borrow money again?" Emeka leaned back in his chair with his arms crossed. "I told Chidinma you probably got yourself into some kind of trouble. What is it this time? Do you need us to bail you out again?" Adis said nothing. She just watched as Chidinma opened the folder. Inside were papers. Bank statements. Property documents. Investment portfolios. Numbers so big they did not seem real. Chidinma's face went from confused to shocked to completely white. Her hands started shaking. The papers fell from her fingers and scattered across the table. This cannot be real," Chidinma whispered. "These numbers. Adis, what is this? Is this some kind of joke?" "It is not a joke," Adis said quietly. 3 months ago, I inherited 75 million naira from our biological father. The same father who abandoned Mama when she was pregnant with me. The same father we never knew. The lawyer told me to keep it secret while they processed everything. But I kept it secret longer than that. I kept it secret to see something. To test something." Emeka grabbed the papers, his eyes moving quickly across the pages. His mouth opened and closed like a fish. "You are lying? This is fake. You are trying to scam us or something." "Call the bank," Adis said, pushing her phone across the table. "The number is right there. Account verification. Go ahead and check." But Chidinma was not looking at the phone. She was staring at her sister with wide, frightened eyes. "Adis, I do not understand. Why did you not tell me? Why did you keep this from me? I am your sister. Your only family." Adis' voice was soft but it cut like a knife. "Because 2 months ago, I called you. I asked you for 5,000 naira. Just 5,000 for food and transport. Do you remember what you said to me?" The restaurant suddenly felt very quiet. Even though there were other people eating and talking, it felt like the whole world was listening. Chidinma's face turned red. Emeka shifted uncomfortably in his seat. "You told me to stop being lazy," Adis continued. "You told me to get a job. You told me you were tired of supporting me. And then you hung up the phone." Chidinma reached across the table for Adis' hand, but Adis pulled away. "That is not fair, Adis. I was just trying to motivate you. I was trying to push you to be better." "Were you?" Adis asked. "Or were you just enjoying feeling better than me?" Before Chidinma could answer, Adis stood up from the table. "I have 75 million naira. I have bought 3 properties. I have started a foundation in Mama's name. I have everything I need. But the question is, Chidinma, do you know what you have lost?" And with that, Adis turned and walked toward the door, leaving Chidinma and Emeka sitting there with their mouths open and their hearts sinking. Because they absolutely knew, that something terrible had just happened. And they had no idea how to fix it. Adis walked out of the restaurant into the warm Lagos night, her legs shaking but her head held high. Behind her, she could hear Chidinma calling her name, but she did not stop. She got into her car, an old Honda that she had kept even after the money came, and drove away. Her phone started ringing immediately. Chidinma. She did not answer. It rang again. And again. And again. 17 missed calls in 1 hour. Then the text messages started coming like rain. "Adis, please. We need to talk about this like adults. You are being dramatic. Come back so we can discuss this properly. I am your sister. How can you do this to me? Addis read each message and felt nothing. Not anger. Not sadness. Just emptiness. Because the truth was finally clear. Her sister did not love her. Her sister loved the idea of being better than her. To understand how everything fell apart, we must go back to the beginning. Back to when Addis and Chidinma were just two girls growing up in a small flat in Surulere, Lagos. Their mother, Mrs. Ngozi Okonkwo, was a strong woman who worked as a nurse at the General Hospital. She worked morning shifts, afternoon shifts, sometimes even night shifts. She worked so hard that Addis and Chidinma would sometimes wake up and find her sleeping in her uniform because she was too tired to change. Their father had left before Addis was born. Mama never talked about him much. She would just say, he was not ready to be a father, and that was the end of the discussion. Chidinma was 5 years older than Addis. When they were young, Chidinma was like a second mother. She would braid Addis' hair, help her with homework, and chase away the bigger kids who tried to bully her. They shared a room, shared clothes, shared secrets. We only have each other, Chidinma would say. When Mama is working, we must take care of each other. That is what sisters do. But things started changing when Chidinma got into the University of Lagos to study business administration. Suddenly, she had new friends. Rich friends. Friends whose parents drove big cars and lived in Ikoyi and Victoria Island. Chidinma started coming home with new ideas about success and money and status. She would look at their small flat and sigh. She would look at Mama's old furniture and shake her head. One day, she would say, I will live in a big house. I will have money. Real money. And I will never struggle like this again. Addis was still in secondary school then. She did not understand why Chidinma suddenly seemed embarrassed about where they came from. But Mama understood. One night, Addis heard them arguing in the kitchen. You are forgetting where you came from, Mama said quietly. No, Mama, Chidinma replied. I am remembering exactly where I came from. And I am making sure I never go back there. After university, Chidinma got a good job at a bank. She met Emeka at a work conference. Emeka came from a wealthy family in Enugu. His father owned several businesses. His mother wore gold jewelry that probably cost more than Momo's yearly salary. When Emeka asked Chidinma to marry him, she said yes immediately. The wedding was big and expensive. Emeka's family paid for everything because Mama could not afford it.